You have to deeply believe that you are the one. I was going through some old voice notes I had, and I completely forgot I did this. Something I used to do when I was in school, in college, 5, 9 years ago, throughout the whole time, was I would record voice notes to myself. And I would do these at random times, but especially when I was on these long drives. I had this photo booth event business, right? So I was always doing these long drives upstate in the middle of the night, and I would just turn on voice notes and I would start ranting to myself, whatever I needed to rant about. Like I was literally just talking to myself, getting the thoughts out of my head. And it was weird. I don't remember someone telling me to do that. It was like it happened uncontrollably. Like I had all of this energy and all of this excitement towards the future and what I wanted to do in life that it had to escape. And like I had to make it real somehow, getting it out of my head and into the world, into some format, right? During this time I was in school, I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. I was a pre-med major, but didn't really want to do that, didn't really want to be a doctor. Just all I knew was that I wanted extreme greatness in some way. I talked a lot about like building a fucking app, being the next Steve Jobs, all of this stuff that I feel like every 21-year-old, every 20-year-old has those fantasies, right? Or not every, but a lot of them do. And regardless, I literally would, but yeah, it was like I had such extreme ambition that I couldn't keep it all inside because I couldn't go and talk to people about this. I could tell like maybe some close friends what I cared about, but for some reason in college, I just had this burning desire um, to, I call it the pinnacle, to reach the pinnacle, which is just the top of achievement, doing this extreme contribution to the world. And it's crazy to listen to some of these old voice memos. I have so many. I need to spend like a day and look through all of them because these are like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And I am describing the things I am doing now. I am literally dreaming of them like they are almost impossible at the time. They felt impossible. Like living in New York City, being, having an audience online, making content. That was my dream. Like it was literally my dream. And what's crazy is during these car rides, I would record these voice notes and I would describe like for a while my dream was to have like a warehouse for my photo booth company at the time. That was like my dream. And I would describe it. And this was years before it happened. I did get one, and I would feel this insane energy go throughout my body. And I think that's what visualization and manifestation is, whatever. I'm not a big, like, I don't think about those words that much, but I probably do, like, subconsciously, because I think when you can experience something happening before it does, that is true manifestation. And I was feeling that energy of those goals happening. Like I get goosebumps right now talking about it. And man, I remember those car rides and how excited I was about the future, and it just felt written. Felt like these things were going to happen no matter what. And that's why the first thing I said in this video, you have to deeply believe you are the one. And I I just love that affirmation. I think I actually took it from a CT Fletcher video.
I'm the one that you was warned about. I'm the one that you was foretold about. I'm the one that you've been looking for.
Fuck, that affirmation is so good. I use that on my runs because I like to believe I'm like different when I run. Even I'm not, but like I like to believe I have this freak mentality when I'm out there. And so I literally say to myself, I am the one. I am the one. I'm different. I'm the one. And I have felt this energy about myself for many, many, many years. Literally, as long as I can remember, I felt like I was on this path. And, you know, fuck, I've never felt it more than I feel it now. Today, I literally was walking outside and got goosebumps realizing that I am on a path where I think I can be one of the greatest writers ever. And like I'm doing a small piece of that on my Instagram compared to this, you know, big vision that I have over the rest of my life. But I think I have a gift of making people feel things through words. And that is just the gift I was given. And that is, the obsession I have. And I have many, many, many decades to get even better at it. And so if I'm having this impact now, I just think, I don't know. I think in like 2070, it's going to be insane. And so I was walking around yesterday and literally just get goosebumps all throughout my body on that goal, just like I had goosebumps, 5, 10 years ago in the car thinking about a photo booth warehouse. It was the same feeling of destiny just ripping through your veins. And I have it right now a little bit. And fuck, that is the best feeling in the fucking world. And it is only comes to you. It only comes to you when you know what you want. It only comes to you when you know what you want and it's truly what you want and not a desire that you steal from someone else, right? Like I never had that feeling about med school or anything like that, right? I that was a desire I took from college and what was cool and what what I should be doing. So that belief is really hard to explain. But if you're listening to this, I bet you there's a good chance you have it or you've had it in the past. And the number one fear I've always had, and people ask me, what's your biggest fear? My fear is losing that sense of ambition and destiny that I've always felt. I've always felt. I think Gary Vee has a great quote, like there is an incredible amount of destiny that races through my veins, something like that. And it's such a great quote. He always felt like he was on a path towards greatness. And you look at all these guys that reach the pinnacle, and almost all of them, it's the same story. They just fucking knew. They knew they were different. They knew they were going somewhere. They didn't always know where, but they were just dragged along on this path, right? Something guided them. And that something was just a deep belief that they were capable. And I've always had that. I've always had that feeling. And I think the through line, I don't know what it is, but it's just some, obviously I call it obsession, but really what it feels like to me is intensity. This ability to just go all in on something, to give everything to something. And some people have that and some people don't. But the people who have that can do basically anything that they set out to do, right? If you don't have that feeling, I think it comes from the wrong goals and the wrong desires. That feeling comes from certainty. That feeling comes from knowing what you want. And yeah, you might be years away from it, but you know you're going to get there and you know you're not going to stop. And the only thing that will stop you is dying. So don't die and keep going. And you will get to that goal. I promise you. I would love to I need to learn more about where that feeling comes from that you are the one. Cause I like I said, I feel like I've had it since I was a kid. I feel like I've had it since I was a teenager. And maybe that's like, you can call it a chip on a shoulder, something to prove. I don't know. But I never lost mine. And yeah, there were years or months when I wasn't acting like that person and I didn't have these feelings of goosebumps all the time, right? Because I wasn't doing the right things. But I still had this voice in my head that said, Zach, you are the one. You are not doing the right things right now. You need to go and shift and realign yourself. You can't do this, right? And you have to come back. You have to come back to the path. And that voice never left me. I think that voice leaves a lot of people. I think people get distracted and they get comfortable and then they lose that voice forever. And then their life goes by and there's always something inside of them that wishes they did more. I'm lucky I didn't lose that voice. I always felt like I was the one, like I was capable. And I'm repeating myself a lot in this video, but it's like, well, one, it's like 11:30, but two, it's I'm not good at describing this thing because it's so hard to explain. I'm going to stop this video. Just, you have to get to the feeling that you are the one.